Hey everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Snapchat. I'm joined today by none other than Cozy Snap. Cozy, this week was pretty interesting for the both of us, but for you namely. Now, you guys behind the scenes, you guys would not have known this, but Cozy and I had to record a couple days earlier than usual last week because we had full schedules. And sir, you went to one day of San Diego Comic-Con. We did our recording. And then on the next day of San Diego Comic-Con, my friend, you had something miraculous happen. You were in the room of an insane event in the Marvel Universe. So, you know what? I'm going to let you take it over from here. We didn't talk about it on your side, and we damn well better talk about it now.
Yeah, it's funny. We filmed it right before all that chaos happened, and then I got so many different comments like, how did you guys not bring up all the announcements with Marvel and everything? Yeah, absolutely one of the craziest things ever. I mean, outside of watching Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh, like that was like, what the hell? One of the coolest moments ever. Deadpool, fantastic movie, really fun. I think a lot of people have seen it by now. So many things that I filmed that I wanted to show, but I couldn't because of spoilers or whatever. But then Saturday, the official Marvel panel happened. Complete insanity, bro. First of all, if you're in the crowd, you get to see, things that is meant only for that crowd, and they're not going to re-air for a while or whatever. So being able to get the first look of the Fantastic Four, Bonkers, Galactus, and how they're going to bring that in was just cool to see on screen. The casting, when they first casted the Fantastic Four, I was like, wasn't crazy about it. I love Pedro, but I wasn't crazy about some of their selections. Seeing them now completely makes more sense. Thunderbolts looks peak great content, and just bringing back David Harbour as Red Guardian, I can't wait for it. But then the big reveal, man. The Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom, who did state, new mask, same task, bud. And that was one of the craziest places I've ever been, ever.
Yeah, I can only imagine being there for that reveal. Like, I got tingly watching the reveal on Twitter and stuff. I can't even imagine what it was like to physically be there, to like watch the unveiling happen. Like, was it absolute anarchy?
It's funny because there's so anarchy in there, and then some of Twitter was like, well, how, like, what are you doing? How are you bringing them back? I don't get it. I have no idea what route they're gonna go, and I don't want to spoil Deadpool or anything, and so I'm not gonna do that. But I could this be, just him playing, Doctor Doom? Could this be, Iron Man in some other way, shape, or form? And someone like Spider-Man is going to be, like, mind blown away. There's a lot of paths to take with it. I do think that's the route they're going to go. And I think there's so much more than just this reveal that is going to really expand on over the coming months. They didn't reveal, anything outside of that. I do think the Russo brothers, that was alongside the Robert Downey Jr. reveal. I don't think that was talked about enough. Tremendous directors. They're going to do a great job. They appreciate and care about Marvel enough. And so I think that was a great step in the right direction there. But yeah, dude, absolute anarchy.
Yeah, I can only imagine that it seemed wild, and to be there must have been absolutely incredible. Just like our incredible favorite cards of the month, Cozy, this past season was a season that introduced a lot of really awesome cards to Marvel Snap. The meta shifted, got still for a little bit, then it just shifted again. But what remained consistent were our favorite cards. Now, these aren't necessarily the best cards in Marvel Snap. These are our personal favorite cards at each individual cost. Cozy, I'm going to let you start us off with one.
Bro,
and by one, I mean cost one.
Yeah, one cost.
Such an awkward way to phrase it.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that I'm picking this card, but the more I've played it, the more I've enjoyed it, and the more I've come to appreciate its silly stat line at virtually almost no con. Hydra Bob, baby. It's Hydra Bob. He's going to be my favorite one cost this month. A 1/5 is awesome. Playing him in Craven decks. Just having him be able to get to a location that's locked down. I've won games that way. For a one cost, man, they definitely made it worth, playing him at this point.
Hydra Bob is definitely underappreciated. I've not played him that much. I have put him in a couple Zoo decks and stuff like that. But ironically, I've been playing a lot of Shauna in the Zoo deck. I'm still playing Mockingbird Zoo, okay? It's like Zoomy, I guess. But Hydra Bob has been legit. And it doesn't actively try to stab you in the chest the way Martyr does. It does sneak into locations. And I like the idea that, hey, if you want him to move again, double the stakes. Snap. Go for it, right? Snap. And then you just fill the lanes anyway. He can't move, right? And you win the game. A lot of really cool interactions. It's probably one of the higher stat lines in the game that feels like the downside isn't always really a downside. You know what I mean? Like, you have him on the board. You're like, That's 1-5, man. I think that's not really going to hurt me. I can't say then they Killmonger and you cry, but that's a whole other conversation, I guess. But I like this pick, man. I don't think anyone in the world was expecting Cozy Snap to say Hydra Bob was his number one.
And we're about to enter a crazy zoo week at that, so there's going to be even more Bobs out there. What is your one cost?
Now, we kind of hinted at it on your side there. I would like to give a special warm shout out to Uatu, finally feeling playable for the first time after that patch. But I got to say, the one that really kind of warmed my heart to be playing again was Korg. I kind of really enjoyed playing Korg again because he felt like a card that kind of completely fell off. He often felt too tied to Darkhawk, but like once you start getting these like Erisham decks, you start to want to start countering them. You start playing these Darkhawk based packages, but realizing like, hey, the play rate of Erisham is going down. Darkhawk can't just be a tech card. You got to actually build towards it. The Korgs and the Rock Slice started making their way back into the decks. I liked playing Korg. I liked the disruption it provides, and it just feels like a very good tempo play on turn 1. And if you are playing Darkhawk, it can be a difference maker on turn 6 as well, which I think is underappreciated for Korg.
I think Darkhawk might be the best card in Snap of all time, right? Like inconsistency of like how long it's been good and what it's done. I think it just has not died down. It's never died, no matter how many times they've tried to, change it, nerf it. It still is what it is. Roll into 2 costs. What's your favorite 2?
For me, it's Ravonna. It has to be Ravonna Renslayer. This card I have fallen in love with. I've loved this card for as long as it was basically released. I shouldn't say that. It sucked it as a 3/3. When it got brought down to 2, I forever just loved it. I've been playing so many different Ravonna decks. If you watch the stream, you just see me playing Ravonna deck after Ravonna deck, and I just can't get enough of it. That's why I got so offended when you even suggested they could consider nerfing her again. Please don't touch Ravonna anymore. She's absolutely perfect.
It's just so crazy to see how she survived. Zabu, it's obviously so gone. He's completely gone. I'll be quick on mine because we talked about him in extent. Shadow King is going to get my win. I think, again, it's the tech card people I'm thinking about. You play it on Thena, you ruin all their effort. You ruin the deck completely, and it's just 2 to drop. So it was a very easy pick for me on the 2, especially getting boosted up after that. 3 costs, I would always say we both agree is always one of the toughest assignments on like what to pick because there's so many and we can make cases for all of them. Was it easier for you this time? Was it equally as hard?
It was hard because I have 2.
And there it is. Of course you do. That's okay. I don't know whether you want to say one of yours first, then I'll say mine, then you could do your second one.
Sure. Okay. Well, the first one's obvious. It was Silver Surfer. I played so much Silver Surfer this month. It is still my favorite archetype. I feel like I bring it up every single time we have these conversations. Silver Surfer never gets old for me. I love playing it. I love the variants that it provides. I can add in any 3-drop I want depending on the meta situation. We continue to get really good cards at the 3 slot, even at the 1 slot, 2 slot. White Widow being used over Jeff, for instance. Okoye and Nakia finding their ways into some of these decks as well. Having mid-50s to almost approaching 60% win rates at times because people just get caught by surprise. I think Silver Surfer has been solid. I've really liked it, honestly. And I think Gwenpool sneaking into a number of Silver Surfer decks and being relatively legit in it as well.
Yeah, there's more ways than one to play Surfer now, and I think that's just a good thing for the archetype, for Snap in general. I bounced between a couple, but again, I'm going to stick to one. It's going to be Sage. I think Sage is slowly becoming just one of my favorite cards in Snap, and the way that she's played, the way that you have to play this game of like, when do you play her? Should you play her right away? Should you play her now? There's just a lot of cool design around the card, and her value's through the roof. So Sage is going to be my definitely my pick.
I love this call because like Sage is obviously a Ravonna card, and I love Ravonna. I've been playing lots of Sage, and like it's a location flipper. Like it's one of those cards that like the opponent might think, nah, he's not going for that. Like there's no way he's going to try and flip that location. And like they don't account for a massive Sage coming down and 2 other cards and Sage getting +2 from Surfer or whatever you happen to be doing, right? Even something as simple as Iron Man's Sage on turn 6. If you have Ravonna out, is crazy. You double the location of 1 power. Sage can be a 10. Right? Like it's crazy what Sage does. I absolutely love the call here on Sage. And I know I'm cheating a little bit here at the 3 costs, but one of my absolute favorite cards in Marvel Snap to have ever been released was released this month in Copycat. I can't explain to you how much I love this card. I don't care what the win rate is. I don't care what people think about the card, its ability. Oh, you might get, a crappy. I don't care. I love playing this card. It has been so much fun. It's reignited the passion for me in Snap in a weird way where it's like, hell yeah, like I'm actually having fun. Like sometimes it steals their Iron Man. And I'm like, this is absolutely insane. And other times it's like just information. And that's okay too. I have absolutely loved Copycat, and it's my favorite card in a very long time.
Yeah, I think she's going to get even better. Again, this was my card of the month, and I think she's going to get even better when Airsham declines in play rate, because right now that's the only thing kind of holding her back. It just feels like not super toxic to play against too. Like, yeah, they'll get some stuff that you're like, oh my God, but you're able to work out a little bit what card they may have or whatever. So yeah, dude, Copycat, kind of forgot she was a 3 cost. Probably would have been mine. Love it. Glad you picked it. 4 costs, I'll make it easy, man. I think it's the season pass card. I think I've had enough fun with her to deem her. She's growing on me every day in the way that she's played. And even just discard. Like, she's so fun to boost up a Wolverine in a Proxima Midnight, and then you throw them all out there with MODOK. Like, so many cool ways to play that, boost up a Swarm. Gwenpool works in a number of archetypes, and yeah, I think they nailed it.
It's interesting that you bring up Gwenpool, because this is one of those cards that I feel has really aged well for me. Like, it's not like aging like fine wine, like I like to say, but it's aging like a really nice artisan cheese. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting more succulent with every single day that goes by. Like, that was, okay, I'm reaching with that example. But listen, man, you hear what I'm saying, right? Like, it's not like completely blowing me out of the water, but the more I play Gwenpool, the more I'm like, you know what? Yeah. And I've been trying to play Gwenpool, ironically, in like decks where like I'm trying to buff an Iron Man. Iron Man getting like a proc or two is incredible, right? So I think that the deck building around Gwenpool, there's still a lot to be done. I really do think we haven't hit the ceiling on the potential of this card yet, and it has aged particularly well. And the card for me at 4 cost here, and I am going to pick only one, but like I'm falling back in love with Wong. Now, this was the season that I played quite a bit of Nomura, quite a bit of White Tiger, Wong shenanigans. And like, honestly, man, like no one's teching Cosmo. No one's playing Cosmo. And I was of the belief that Cosmo was a pretty good counter against Blob, because like, especially when you had the Blob Mystique stuff happening, Cosmo shut down a lane for them, right? Especially when you're playing Darkhawk Inuit and stuff like that. So Cosmo wasn't being played. I'm playing Wong, and people just retreat. Like, it's sad. I don't get to pull my Wong combos as often as I want, because like it is one of the most threatening cards in Marvel Snap when you don't have an answer.
Wong is a card I play all the time in a deck that I think is the most slept on deck in the game. I also think it's just like it's one of those cards that came out. People are like, yeah, moved on. I haven't moved on because it's just absolutely killing it, buddy. And that would be Nomura. Nomura, bro, I don't know why. She introduced a brand new style of play. This deck is crazy good. It's crazy strong, and definitely my winner of the 5 cost. I play her all the time. She's my best kept secret or whatever in the sense, but I guess not now anymore. Love the idea of playing Cosmo because you counter as well. She has counters built in. Great card.
Yeah, no, I've been loving Nomura as well. I haven't gone the Cosmo route with her. What I've been doing is playing her in a Wong-based deck where I have the White Tiger as a secondary option. Like, if I don't draw into my Nightcrawler, if I don't have my Nocturne and stuff like that, and my lines don't really line up, I can be, okay, I have Nomura, but I also have White Tiger, throw in there, Odin, whatever. I have the nice combos. A little susceptible to Shang-Chi, but what's really interesting is the 6 power, especially when you add the Odin in on top and stuff like that. It often reaches high enough that they can't Shun-Chi you everywhere. They can't win power-wise everywhere. And the amount of power she outputs is pretty damn impressive. Maybe I'm playing a little greedy, but I've really liked Nomura as well.
Yep, for sure, man. Who's your 5 cost?
I'm going to go with Iron Man, the man of iron, Robert Downey Jr. Wait a minute. That's not even Iron Man anymore. I think he might still be Iron Man. Man, that is up for debate. But what I will say is that he has been remarkable. And this is going back to my 2 costs, right? Like, I've been playing so much Ravonna lately. And when you play lots of Ravonna, you find yourself playing lots of Iron Man. What I've been doing, honestly, and this happens almost 90% of the time, I play Iron Man in a location knowing that my opponent will never touch it. Like, they're just never, like, I'll just double the power and not play on top of them. I'll just let Iron Man kind of hold that location there as Cozy is doing something here, getting his pixel. It's funny. It's like off-centered for the visual viewers. It's like just underneath your chin there. But going with the Pixel Iron Man, the ultimate like amazing God split wasn't enough for you.
So I had this card as a God split, and I had to make content. I made an Iron Man get upgraded, and then it went to a Doctor Doom as a play to what happened. But I ruined my split because that wasn't a favorited split. I just left it at that always, and so I had to go back. But then I thought we might as well have the Pixel. So why not? I think Pixels need more love. But yeah, Iron Man Solid Pixel I think is a top 3 or even top 2 best 5 cost in the game.
Oh, 100%, man. It's absolutely incredible. Cozy, I'm going to give you number 6 because I got a spicy take at 6.
A spicy take at 6. Yeah, I would say right after 3, 6 is always the difficult one for me. Like, there's plenty of ones to pick. I think if you look at the decks I've been playing and the ones that I am excited to play next month, for me, man, I got Sasquatch. I think Sasquatch is going to be the card that I've been playing. That it's just different. It's unique. It's fun. And the Mysterio with Mockingbird play with like a Drac Dump deck, I've been doing a lot of that.
You know what? Honestly, Sasquatch has been good. Statistically, a lot of the top decks in Snap have actually featured Sasquatch. He's been a silent high performer. Very low play rate, though. Like, I think this is one of the more slept-on cards in Snap. You did identify it during the release week that you're like, hey, this card's good, right? Like, is this susceptible to Mobius and Mobius? Yeah. And I think Mobius was everywhere. It kind of, poo-pooed on this card in the launch week. But it has aged very well, and it's performed very well, and the statistics are backing it as being a legit card, and we're just not necessarily, we're not seeing it as often as you'd expect.
What is your 6th spicy take?
My spicy take at 6, my man, is Orca, okay? Hear me out. I've been playing so much Orca lately, nobody expects Orca. I just leave a location completely empty. And they're like, what's he doing there? And they're like, I have 14 power there. He's not going to play over. He's not going to play something there. He can't even beat me with Magneto. Boom, Orca. And they throw. Buddy, I'm telling you right now, this card is actually good. This is not a hot take, okay? This is not a drill. Orca is catching people by surprise left, right, and center, okay? I'm telling you the truth, man. Orca's where it's at.
I don't doubt it. I think now that junk is dying down a bit and it's not like debris and widows everywhere, like that just made this card so unbelievably bad. The 16 power, man, it's a lot to respect. It is. That's not an easy play. Only playing just him for that, like, do you feel like he could go down to a 5 cost, though, and they give him a nice little bump up? They make him like a 5-13 or 5, like a middle ground from him and Namor, do you think could be plausible?
No, I actually kind of like the idea that he's like a really big closer. That like you can just try to take someone by surprise with. I actually really do prefer it this way, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. I think this was one of our better favorite cards that ever cost. Like, we had very different picks than we usually do. Hats off to us. And we could have the same picks, I think, every single time, but it goes to show the experimentation that we try to do.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's what Marvel Snap's all about. Experiment, have fun, and you just don't know what you might fall in love with, right? Like me this month falling in love with Orca. It's just because people aren't playing them, and no one's expecting them. Cubes being stolen, and there's another conversation about cubes being stolen. Cozy, like, Snap's forgotten cards. We have cards in Marvel Snap that have been completely forgotten. Okay, some have been forgotten for a reason. Others are being utterly and completely slept on. We're going to discuss both. We're going to be discussing cards that we think are really, really good that you should be playing and you're not. And we're also going to be discussing cards that maybe are in need of buffs. Cozy, I'm going to get us started here, okay? Now, there is a card that I think needs something. It's been completely forgotten. I think that if built around correctly, the win rate can be in the mid 50s, 54, 55 range. Not a meta shaker, but Ronin and Master Mold, I think, have been completely forgotten. And I'm going to talk about both. Their statistics are almost identical with each other at 0.3% play rates. And there's so little game volume that, like, the win rate's irrelevant. It's under 50 right now, but who knows what's happening there. But Ronin and Master Mold, I'm talking about them as a package. I think that, like, Ronin's better than we're giving him credit for. However, I think he still needs another support character or two to really take him to the next level. I'd be interested in your thoughts.
Bring him down to a 5/3 and give him +3 for each card in your opponent's hand. Even that is
Didn't they do that
change.
already?
That's like a temporary change that they could do. Maybe. Beats me, but there's been so many. Yeah, I think, man, it's just awkward. He's just an awkward card. He's an awkward card. I think he's definitely forgotten. I think he does hit the nail on the head there. They've changed Baron now, so, you know, it's a little bit different on how he works and doesn't draw the card for your opponent. Loki draws cards, so maybe that helps out a bit. He just needs... It's not even just him, man. He just needs more around him.
But I do think that, like, in terms of forgotten cards, Ronin is absolutely near the top. Cozy, what's one of yours?
Yeah, man. And especially if you look at like Gilgamesh and stuff, they're just like so much better. There's a lot to pick from. I think I'm going to start with one that's just like a good card that is not played that much, that I think could be played more. And it's played in decks. I'm just not seeing it enough. And it's Miss Marvel. Like, I get it. They changed her. Totally do. But just like your pick of Orca has gotten better because there's less junk decks, I think Miss Marvel is in that same spot. I think Miss Marvel has so freaking much power for a 4-cost card, and it makes no sense for 414 why she shouldn't be teched in more decks. She flows and curves really well. I just think she's a winner, man. She's a card that I play a good amount, but I don't see her enough out there. Huge surprising finish. I think she's forgotten in the sense of she's forgotten as a meta card.
Yeah, I mean, when this came out, it was truly remarkably meta shaking, meta warping, one might say. And although we thought that, like, okay, the change to +2 cards with no repeating costs was going to impact it, we didn't anticipate just how much it was going to impact it. I think a major factor here as well is the prevalence of White Widow, which makes kind of filling those locations tricky, offsetting the amount of power. But I agree, Miss Marvel is a tremendous output of power at 4 cost. And yeah, you have to micro and macro manage it quite a bit. But like, I don't think this card needs a buff. I think people just need to remember it exists and play it again.
I was thinking about this. Out of every single card in the game, right? So like bots play a lot of Angel, so it may not be that for me. What is the card that when it's played, you have forgotten that even exists in Snap? Like the most forgotten card for you in the game. That is like, oh yeah, that's a card.
I mean, it's hard. I don't know. It's like, I think it is Angel, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Like when a bot plays Angel or an Angel comes swinging out after they deathlock their Venom on turn 5. I'm like, what the and then all of a sudden, like, yeah, I think it has to be Angel. Like, that is the most bot play. I think the other one's probably Colossus. I don't know why bots play so much Colossus. I think that's the other one that just shows up. I'm like, what the hell's this? The turn 6 Colossus.
Mine's Warpath. I feel like Warpath, dude. I never see this card. I played like a War Goblins deck once upon a time, but like this is a card I never see. I know bots play it from time to time, but it's like this will be played. I'm like, oh yeah, this card is in the game. This has got to be up there in the Forgotten Land.
Yeah, 100% it is. I mean, it's less. It's almost like less than 1. It is less than 1%. It's almost not even existent in play rate. Thanks bots for playing Warpath every once in a while. The only time Warpath was even relevant was the ongoing destroyer lists, right? That was the only time it saw play, and it's actually been buffed. It was a 4/9. And now it's actually, because it was a 4/4 that gained +5. Now it's a 4/5 against the 10 power, which was supposed to be significant because it's often played in those destroyer decks, so it's sitting under armor. But yeah, man, like this card just does not see any play at all. Because I guess is it too telegraphed that obviously you're throwing the other location? Is it just not worth the power? You can play a Crossbones with it without having to worry about this.
Bro, you are straight up like you can play a 1-drop and play a Coal Obsidian. Or you can completely abandon an entire location, significantly lowering your odds to win to get the same power.
Yeah, it's not even close. Like this, does this card need a rework or do you buff it? I think it could probably stay the way it is. I think it needs to be buffed.
But Alex, the new player's experience.
Oh my gosh, the new player experience, because you upset me every time you bring it. Make this a 6 cost like Orca with a similar condition, right? Seriously.
Yeah, as a finisher, that would make more sense because you're like setting up the lane and everything. It may even be more telegraphed then, but who cares? It's going to have that payoff. I don't hate that. I think it's pretty interesting. Yeah, let's see what happens there. What is another forgotten card that you got?
All right, buddy. Okay, you actually brought it up on your side a little bit, and I'm just going to lead into it so that you can talk about her. But Arrow running a 0.4% win rate. That's actually probably her win rate. That was actually her meta share at 0.4%, but the win rate may as well be there too. It's actually 45% if you're interested in knowing that. But Arrow, like honestly, this card I've not seen played at all. I've actually been playing some Arrow lately, and it sucks. It sucks really bad. It's so bad. Like it's insultingly bad. I hate this card. I hate everything about Arrow. She is offensive, and I hope she gets just deleted. just don't even ban her. Just delete her from the game because, quite frankly, this card just doesn't deserve to be in the game anymore. It's that bad.
Come October, whenever that Scream cards come out, if I see you play Arrow, I'm gonna ruin your life. I'm gonna ruin your life. That's all I have to say. That's it.
You are blinded by passion, sir. This card sucks.
You better be a man of your word here. And you have no right to even have her near one of your freaking decks. Okay?
I'll play her in Scream.
Okay, so one of my cards, Arrow's hated, bro. Arrow's, she's not even hated. She's just not in the game anymore. She's not. And maybe she'll come back. I have nothing to say to you. I'm moving on. How about Havoc, Alex? How about Havoc? You seen this card anytime recently?
Nope. 0.4% play rate, sir. No one's seeing Havoc.
Havoc is up there as a card that, like, is still not even that bad. Like, he's not that bad. And maybe he'll come back with, like, a Wiccan deck or something like that. But this is just a weird card. It's a weird card to play. It could be a 2/4 instantly. Great stat there. But the way that you draw cards and when to curve it, it's got that Black Swan effect that you want to play it earlier and you really can't. And so Havoc is my like newer card list. That's just, it's bad.
I've been playing some infrequent Havoc in like a Wave 5 Havoc shell, which I kind of like. I pull it out every once in a while because if you play Wave and Havoc on turn 5, you can still sneak out like a 6-costed card with 1 energy to spare for a 1-drop or whatever. But it never feels good. It never feels worth it. Havoc himself, though, does elevate in power. Like, it is an impressive amount of power. It never gets to Shang-Chi range if played on turn 5, as long as there's not a magic on the board. And the other side to it is it's also resilient to Shadow King because even if you knock the initial buff back, it'll actually pop back up at the end of the turn. So I really do like Havoc, but the restriction of energy is so difficult, it's almost not worth playing. Like, think about how many hoops you jump through with something like a Corvus Glaive for that 1 extra energy, for Wiccan, which was coming out. Like, there's extra energy is so damn valuable. Destroying it on the other end is so detrimental. So that's probably why Havoc sees no play.
Yeah, very bold card for them to release for sure. Got any other forgotten favorites?
Yeah, I think there's a card I want to bring up again as an absolute buff candidate. Like, I don't know what else we have to say about Mr. Fantastic. Like, I don't ever see like a real sell for Mr. Fantastic. Is that one you forgot existed? Be honest, Cozy.
Fantastic Four comes out in July next year. That's when we see his buff probably, dude. Reed Richards is so iconic in Marvel. It's crazy how bad he is. Yeah. There's just no reason to put him in the deck. None.
Yeah, no reason to sort by power either when you're trying to find cards, on a podcast. But what I will say is, like, I wonder if they rework his ability. You have Miss Marvel in the game. Do you really need him doing the +2? Or do you focus on the fact that isn't he supposed to be one of the smartest men alive? Is that not one of the things that he's supposed to be? Maybe give him a whole new ability. Maybe completely rework him. I like the idea that we're talking about Stretch Armstrong here and we can reach a little bit, but Miss Marvel's doing that. He can do something else. Come on.
This kind of looks like you.
That looks like me?
Yeah. You got to grow the beard out. Next time you do it, you could cosplay him.
I could cosplay him?
Yeah. His arms like coming around, like we get it. He's stretchy.
Is it the white hair?
It's all of it. I think it's all of it.
The anger?
Like if I get Star-Lord, yeah, you get the anger. Yeah, exactly. It's that's your avatar on YouTube right here. If you were to crop that circle, you should replace him for yours and see if people notice.
Yeah, I just use Art Germ's Mr. Fantastic. No one notices at all.
Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, definitely candidate for mine. And those are, for me, probably the most forgotten. The other ones I see like crop up time to time.
Yeah, one more I want to bring up, and this is one that is one of my favorite surprise cards in Marvel Snap, and I know you love it too. It's Valkyrie. Valkyrie is criminally underplayed. Criminally, not even a percentage point. Almost no statistics. No one's playing Valkyrie. And I'm not just talking about like C3 Copium. Like, I think this is an actual good card. I think it's really good. I like playing Valkyrie in combination with things like Ant-Man, Wasp, things like that. You can really flip locations easily. I think Valkyrie is absolutely underplayed.
She's been out forever. They can't make her less than 5. It'd be too crazy. Yeah, she's tough. She's definitely tough on what to do with her. Very much forgotten, because if I lose this card, actually, this might be the best way to end it, because I think she's one of the most forgotten. Because if I lose this card, I'm like, oh my God, right? Like, they could play a Shang-Chi and a Shadow King on the board, and I have like a big card left. And I'm like, I win. There's not anything left in the board. And then a freaking Valkyrie hits me. Be over, man. It'll be over.
And Cozy, that takes us to our Snapchat mailbag. We got a couple interesting comments here that I can't wait to go through. And if you have a comment or a question you'd like to ask us, make sure you ask down below in the comments section. The first comes from JMT and it reads, can we please have more deck spots? It doesn't make any sense. It's a 5-minute change for SD. They have to know we all want it. Super annoying.
I'm telling you, we survived our first week without a new card. Do it again. Put all those resources into just cleaning up some things in Snap and adding some quality of life, and deck slots is near the top of the list.
Honestly, like, I would love to have more deck slots. I don't even want to suggest that I would pay for more deck slots, but I would. Honestly, I love them. Like, I love having more deck slots. I want to experiment. And I even have like a running like Google Doc where I copy and paste decks that I don't want to forget I designed because I don't have enough space. I almost want like an archive where I can just put like my forever decks that like I just want to go back to every once in a while. You know what I mean?
It would be so cool if this was a reward in like in an upcoming Deadpool's Diner. Because it's not like game breaking, but it rewards players that play the game a lot, right? And like if you play the game a lot, you're gonna want more decks. I think maybe I'm cooking.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea, honestly. Like I think people would really like that. Or I mean, you can just give it to everybody because.
Well, just do that as a base, like 5 more, 10 more for everybody, and then you add some in there. I don't know.
Yeah, but honestly, more deck slots, I'm all for it. The next question comes from Sir BMW. Cassandra Nova is the first card to be placed behind a paywall or skill issue. There will be many free-to-play players who won't be able to get the card due to unfortunate luck and skill. It feels like Second Dinner is telling individuals who don't deserve to have the card that if you don't have the skill, and you should wait for it to come back. Is this the first time this has happened? Is this okay? And following up with that, Strider commented, I made it to the top of Diner in about a week using no gold, and now I'm playing just to give free bubs to help others still climbing. So there's two paradoxes here.
What did
we
you
have
say?
Deadpool's Diner, right? You have the access of Cassandra Nova if you hit the threshold, but some people are struggling. Other people are getting through relatively straightforward. Is this a matter of allowing Second Dinner to access the data, see what percentage of players were successfully able to complete it to make improvements in the future? I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts, Cozy.
Yeah, I think that I'd be interested on those statistics. It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of thing. Like people want really enticing rewards. I think a new card is a good way to do that. You can't have the new card suck, right? That's in there because then it's, people are upset about that. I'm on the camp. I'm completely fine with there being a card where that is. I've already said my piece on. I want them to not have a way to buy tiers. I think that solves it. But yeah, it's tough. I guess they need to look at the statistics here, but I'm on the camp of I think I'm fine with it.
All right, and that takes us to our next question here as my voice continues to disintegrate here. I'm really sick just trying to hold on in this Snapchat here. Usually it's Cozy that's sick. Damn it, now it's me, Cozy. You've cursed me. It's all that negativity I've sent towards Arrows. I've been just cursed with the lack of a voice box. Now these comments are absolutely hilarious. I love these so much from Turfer, and it read, so sad that Alex didn't acknowledge Cozy's dreams of them riding a Vespa together in Italy. I don't even remember this happening. And like people commented over and over again about how like you had this romantic moment with me about this Vespa and I just completely didn't respond to it at all. I want to publicly acknowledge that Cozy, if you want to ride a Vespa in Italy, you should find someone else.
It's too late. I was going to say it's too late, so you should find someone else, good sir. I called him once on stream.
No, you find somebody else.
I called Alex once on stream, and I ended the call with, I love you, bud, and he hung up. And guess what? Chat was like, you didn't say I love you back. It's fine. I've become accustomed to this at this point.
Listen, man, I apologize for that, okay? Chat called me out. I think it was one of those situations where I was hitting the button as you said it. I would have said it back. But you know I do anyways, right? Like you have to tell your wife you love her every single time you see her, or does she just accept that she knows?
I'm watching you actively die on camera.
I know. I can't talk, man. I can't. We can't do this right now, Cozy. We cannot have this conversation. Me and you will have to. We have to work on our communication a little bit, but maybe not on a podcast in front of tens of thousands of people.
Can I do the outro for you?
Yes.
Hey, everybody, if you haven't already, why have you not subscribed? Alex is so close to 100,000 subs. Let's get him there. Let's get him there. Get that plaque on the wall, baby. I know that's what Alex wants. That's what I want for Alex. So if you haven't already and you're listening, it takes a second to make this beautiful man's day, who has given it his all over here, having coughing fits, trying to get through the Snapchat. But we appreciate you guys hanging out for yet another week. We have a good, juicy week next week. And as always, guys, have a good one. Have a great one. Till the next one, happy snapping.